Good evening, friends. Sorry.
Now all the sarcasm is like going over and over.
How's everybody doing? There's a bunch of people in here already saying all kinds of wonderful things, and we love it. Hello, 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 hello. Happy Wednesday to everyone. This is Johnie Terrell's Apprentice for anyone who does not know. I bothered Johnie earlier today and said, hey, can you join me on November the 4th? And he's like, November the 4th? It's like October the 4th.
My life starts on Sunday, and so I can know what I'm going to do 2 weeks, but a month, I don't have no idea what's going to happen that day. So, and I don't counsel things. I don't like to counsel things. So I can do short-term notice. I can't do long-term notice.
So he was kind enough to say to me, like, if you got something this week or next week, and I said, well, believe it or not, friends, I have nothing to do on a Wednesday. And so I said, I'm free tonight. And Johnny's like, okay. And I'm like, let's do it. So an hour ago, I was in my pajamas and I did the fire drill and tried to look as presentable as possible. So it's Johnny's fault, really. It's not. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us. We really have no idea what we're going to do. We're just going to laugh and carry on and shuffle some cards and do some stuff. Johnny was telling me about his trip to the store that I
had to run to the store because we were going to go live, right? And I'm like, okay, it's only like 11 minutes if I book it, which I walk fast anyway. So I can get there and shop around and then get back before 7 my time, 10 your time. I'm like, okay. And she was like, well, I'll just set it for 7:15. Okay, perfect. I get in there and I can't find nothing. And it's like, okay, I'm on the TikTok here. Like, right? I'm supposed to be live in like 30 minutes now. And I can't find nothing. I went in the store. First of all, this is my fault. I went in the store. I don't know because I was trying to get one specific thing. And I'm like, we'll just get everything here.
Right.
No. Go to the produce. It looks like they've been on the floor rolling it back and forth. It's got bumps and dents and little hairs sticking out. I'm like, okay, so this is probably not where I'm going to get produce. I had some in the bag. I'm like, just put it all back. And I was going to go to the store next door, but I'm like, it's 6:30. So no. So I left. I got the one thing. And I impulse buy at the register, and then here I am. So I still got to go back to the store to get real food from the real store.
So basically what Johnny is saying is,
I just took a walk. That's all I really did.
Right. You just took a walk for something to do in the middle of the night. So, keep your alerts and your notification bells on in case he decides to take us with him on a trip to the store. Like you did a couple of weeks ago at 6 a.m. for wine. It was 6 a.m. my time, and I was like, no, it was 6 a.m. your time, right?
Yeah, because they open at 6. Because I had to go get wine because I was going to try to cook, which is never a good idea in this house, at least with me. But I'm like, I'm going to try. I watched the recipe on YouTube. When you watch things on YouTube, it makes you an expert. So I'm like, oh, I can do that. And so I go down there, and I'm like, what's the difference? I don't understand what these words are saying. So it's like, it was fun though.
Okay. I have a question. Speaking of this store, and I'm sorry, this totally putting you on the spot. But we're friends. We're tight. We go way back, like a couple of months. When you went for the walk that day to the store, you had said that you had done a reading on yourself and you pulled the tower card because you had a dream of that the card was coming for you, and I literally thought, okay, you took us with you to the store in case something happened to you, right?
No, because I wanted y'all to pick out the wine.
I thought you took us with you, in case you needed a witness.
So here's okay. Can I ask you a question? If you when
Yes.
we get to the cards part,
Okay.
because I did another reading on myself because I've been
Okay.
having dreams/visions. I think.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to know. Are they just dreams or are they visions? Because here's what happened. I had the dream about, because this is what I was doing in the dream. I was on the phone doing the thing that people do when you're distracted, and I just walked in the street, and then the
Right.
car was coming. So that's what the vision was.
Right.
And so I wasn't paying attention. Now, mind you, in the dream, I had the dream twice. I never got hit by the car,
Right.
but because I always woke up at that point, or the dream or the vision stopped. And I was shuffling. I'm like, okay, well, what did that actually mean? Because, they could just
Right.
metaphors for blah, blah. I'm doing this, and 2 cards flew out. I'm like, okay. And it was the strength and the tower. And I'm like, okay, that's an accident. And my strength is my good health card. So we're talking accident.
Right.
And so then somebody I know got into a fender bender a few days later.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, so these were not necessarily visions for me, even though I do still need to pay attention. Because I wear this at night walking to the store. So it's like you're dark enough and then you put on black clothes. Yeah, let's not. So I go past a couple streets. And so I do need to still pay attention. So it is still a reminder. But somebody had to fender bender. So my second vision was this one. I don't think has happened yet, but there was somebody looking down at some papers and they're just boo-hooing. I mean, they're crying their whole face off.
Right.
And it's an obituary that they're looking at. And they're talking about someone has died, but the obituary has got wrong dates on it for that person to actually be talking about the death. And so it's like they're in public, though. They were like on YouTube type of thing, or just in my head, that's what was being used.
Right.
So they're in public. They could have been, at a podium somewhere. I don't really know, but it's like they're fake. They're fake crying or fake. They're putting on a show.
Right.
And so I'm like, I don't know what that's about. But that's my second one. So I guess we'll see what happens if something like that occurs where somebody is trying to fake sincerity or trying to fake some sort of sad emotions in a public space. Not necessarily YouTube, could be on TV, could be one of the political figures or whoever. But I don't know.
If it's about you specifically, and I'm just a thought, mixing the first one with the second one, it sounds to me like someone's trying to tell you to get a little more balance in your life, to step back and don't be so because you were going at it really hard, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
What happens is in my dreams that I remember, it uses me, but it's about somebody else.
Right.
And so those were the dreams. Now these things are different. So I don't.
Right. Yeah.
But
that sounds like someone is maybe just, like a little focused too hard on maybe the wrong thing. It's almost like detoxify, kind of. We'll see.
So I have no idea.
Question, do pop it in the chat. I am trying to follow along, I promise.
I did do another reading about, I always do a reading for myself every day anyway, just like give me a message when you want me to know.
Right.
And I got a bunch of messages are coming to you type thing.
Yeah.
Like the Hierophant.
I got the bulldozer in the world.
See?
They just popped in.
So we'll see. It's still interesting. I don't get them when I'm awake, so I don't get like flashes and how people do.
Okay, so I don't know if you remember or not, but I had a vision. I haven't had that many, but I had one. And I don't know if you consider this awake or not, but it was 3 a.m. ish. I had woken up I had to go potty, and there I was on potty, like this. So I'm not sure if that's really awake or not. And that's when I had that vision of it looked like the death card or like a knight. Like the card just kind of came right into my view, and I was like, okay, I'm awake now. What? I mean, really? If there was a time to get a vision, it's not when you're on the potty at 3:30 a.m.
They get it when we're not distracted.
Right. And I was like, okay. Well, because I mean, that's what happened, right? And I was like, all right. I've had another one that was pretty intense. I had an energy healing session, and I was sitting here, and after the energy healing session, I was like, you know what? I'm super tired. I'm going to take advantage that the house is quiet. I'm going to have a little cat nap. And I never moved. I just kind of closed my eyes, and the next thing I know, it was like back in the Bewitched days, and I was like looking up. I was sitting up, and I was looking down on it, right? And it was myself and my sister being yelled at, even though I couldn't hear anything, by either our father or our stepfather. I couldn't see the face, but I could distinct outfits. And he was like frailing his arms around. And I called my sister and I told her, and afterwards I thought about it and I thought, I can't believe what an insult to my father that I didn't know who it was, because the man was wearing a gray tracksuit and a blue snowmobile toque.
Common wear.
So the reason why he was wearing the toque was so that I knew which one it was, right? Like my father wouldn't be caught dead in that outfit. So I'm like, right, sorry, Dad. But that one was as if I was, watching it on TV. It was really interesting. And then I had another one that the whole chat helped me out with. When my ex-husband died, I was quite shocked about it, and I came online to discuss, as one does when one has a channel. And I had said that I had had a vision a couple nights before that, where I seen, and it was so weird. It was like a perfect square of grass came sort of falling out of the sky, as would happen, and then a pair of red running shoes fell down on top of it. And I was like, I don't know, the red running shoes mean something. And everyone in the chat was like, Kelly, it's like grounding, like the shoes on the ground, on the grass, on the ground, you need to be grounded. And I'm like, oh, okay. In other words, sort of like preparing me for it, right? And I was like, interesting.
Red is your root chakra too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Heather says, I had a dream last night of a man moving closer to me. When I looked into his eyes, it looked like the universe in red, orange, and yellow colors. Who is this? Oh, Heather. You heard me when I said I was in my pajamas, right? I'm not ready for questions like this. No, I'm joking. Okay. Who was this? That's a great question. All right. Get out the Guardian of the Night Tarot. Have you seen this deck, Johnie? It's like super, super pretty. Have you seen that one?
I have no.
Well, I will show it to you.
What is it? What is it? Okay, never mind.
It's animals. Animals.
Okay.
It's beautiful cardstock.
I think
it's made by Edgar Cullinane. It's the person that made the Crow Tarot.
Oh, I have seen that. Yeah. I remember now.
Yeah. All right. So indigo is Heather, by the way.
I pay attention.
Ooh, Johnny's stalking you, Heather. Watch out. No.
Okay. It's support. You'll see it again. It has something to do. I'll try to put this into language here. It's something to do with I kind of sometimes feel like the fabric of the universe itself is a thing and not just space. Like we don't know how to touch it, but I think it's a thing.
Right.
And there's a part of it that is connected with you because you're a part of it. And so you'll see it again. Now, whether it's actually him or her, I don't know, because I pulled the queen first, but this is more support. But I think it doesn't really matter over there. But you'll see it again. It does bring you messages. It's going to eventually help you facilitate a different mode of communication from the other side to here. So if you are some sort of medium, then it's going to be an addition to what you already do. If you're not a medium yet, then you're about to be. But there's some sort of facilitation of messages from the other side. And this in particular thing is going to help you do that. Right now, even though it was shocking to see, it's baby stepping. This is actually going to get a lot more, I don't want to say intense as a bad thing, but it's going to get a lot more vibrant. Maybe that's a better word. Because, and there, like I said, in your sleep, you'll see it again. But because looking into the universe or into the colors or into something deeper is kind of what we do. We just don't see it like you do or how you did. And so, or not everybody. And so I think it's going to help you with your communications from the other side is what I think.
So, it would be super cool if I pulled, similar cards to Johnie, but I didn't.
See, the cards were just cards. The message came from somewhere else. I can't make sense of what I pulled. So.
Oh, really? So I started with a high priestess, so I agree this is about your connection, your intuition, and tapping into that. Only in terms of the people, right? So I've got the King of Cups and the King of Pentacles. So this, like what Johnie said about the support, right? The King of Pentacles trying to make everyone comfortable and sort of the protector, if you will. The King of Cups is, all about emotions and a little bit of naivety, but really about emotions. But I got the Devil in between that as your challenge. And so I feel like, just like what Johnie said, like if you're stuck on this vision thing, the psychic thing, the connection thing, if you are trying too hard or not trying hard enough or trying to make it work when it doesn't want to work, you know what I mean? Like there seems like there might be a disconnect there. And the reason why I say that is because I've got the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the deck. So allowing yourself just to take it one step at a time. Don't push it. You have to sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? You need to embrace it and nurture it rather than trying to force it. I mean, I've said to myself, well, how come I haven't had a vision in like a week? You know what I mean? Or like someone told me that I could turn it off when I don't want it. And I did. And now I can't get it to come back on and I freaked out. You know what I mean? So, because I don't understand it, because it's new to me. And so if you're feeling at all that way, I would say to you that the best thing that you can do is the same thing that I have said oftentimes here. If I'm asking you guys to trust me when you ask me a question, to give you the cards that I have and tell you what I feel, then you need to trust yourself just how I have to trust myself, right? So that is just let yourself trust and let it go. Don't hold on so tight. And I think that that's what that devil is. That's that struggle, that back and forth, kind of like, I want this, but only like this much when I say, you know what I mean? That's what I got.
And it's normal. Psychics want to understand. Like,
Yeah.
don't just give me pops and I want it clear. I want to understand. I want to be able to let it flow and blah blah blah. It's a struggle. So.
Yeah. So Anna says, with Johnie mentioning mediumship, it made me wonder if those colors are indicating a need to work on those chakras to help balance prior to then the next download. And that's a good point. But I literally thought of those colors as the season that we're in now of Libra and the harvest. Right? Because it's all about balancing the night, the dark with the light. And so if there's any shadows that you may have been dealing with, Heather, specifically with people of those signs, right? The cups or the pentacles, so earth or water, there might be something there for you in that. All right. Oh, did you, Marie? That's good, my love. I hope that that you're able to go.
I saw a question.
Thank you, Johnie. It did resonate. By the way, what you said to Heather.
It's still sitting in there too. My 20-pound bag of rice.
Oh.
Oh, mercy.
So, yeah, Mama, I have a 20-pound bag of rice. What should I make with it? Just kidding. What does my October look like? Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all of you. Happy Wednesday, almost Thursday. I have a 20-pound bag of rice. What should I make with it? That is the funniest thing. I would be making cabbage rolls is what I would be making. Love.
Oh, okay. No.
What? You got to say it. You can't hold it in. You'll say it.
You want to know something real stupid. Okay, so Lord Jesus. I bought, by mistake, a 20-pound bag of rice. It's still sitting in there. I ain't opened it or nothing. I'm just trying to get rid of it, right? I went to the store yesterday.
Right.
Yesterday. Mind you, this bag of rice is literally 20 pounds. 20-pound bag of giant rice, right? I went to the store. Guess what I bought? I didn't buy rice. I bought risotto, which is rice.
Yes.
And then I get all the way home and I say, stupid, did you really go to the store and buy rice?
So now you have 40 pounds? Is that what you're saying? Yes.
Because I wanted to try it. I'm like, oh, let me try risotto. You could have made risotto for yourself and everybody in this neighborhood.
Is there a block party coming up in your near future?
Just do stupid things sometimes. That's all. That's part of humans. Humans do stupid.
Well, Marie Henson makes a very good point. She would like to remind you that a bowl of rice will dry a cell phone if it gets wet. So if everyone you know in the 5-mile radius drops their phone in the toilet within the next week or two, you're good.
I know, Cat Mama. See, again, hashtag stupid. She sent me a risotto recipe and broke it down too, mind you. Like, do this, do this, do
Wow.
this, do this. And I still went and bought because you put it in my head. Oh, risotto. And then I seen it and I'm like, well, let me try it just in case. Anyway, that's my saga of the rice. It's getting worse. No, I ain't sharing nothing with Gertrude at all, except a bat upside the head. Okay, Cat Mama. There is the Knight of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles is how it starts. There is some stability with the Knight of Pentacles, but not necessarily instability with the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is your reminder to keep whatever is working, because it's a card of balance. And so it wants you to maintain that balance. The Six of Pentacles and the 10, or the 10 of Pentacles and the Six of Swords. So something is going to be very trying, especially with something that is stable or is a business or a company or something of that nature. It's going to be very trying, but you can make it through. Again, back to the Two of Pentacles, just make sure that you stay on course and all that good stuff. But it'll be trying. Just stay on course, though. You'll make it through. Queen of Swords, 10 of Wands, and the 8 of Swords. There could be a woman who is trying to place limitations as well. She is usually not an unreasonable person, but this time it may come across that way, especially outside of retrograde here. But they're putting some pressure, or at least trying to, with the 10 of Wands and the 8 of Swords. So just keep your cool in that. And against her, again, a soft answer turneth away wrath. So don't slash and dice. Just, if you speak low, then they'll realize they're screaming. Okay, so just keep it calm, keep it cute. But the Knight of Wands, anything that you need for October, you will have. You are progressing, you are moving forward, you have the power to do it, you have the power to take control. So let nothing take you off your path. Whatever it is you want to do, let nothing take you off your path. Just keep going forward, consider your options, whatever they are. You can always do something, you always have a choice, no matter what it is.
I'm trying so hard to follow what you're saying and pay attention and be a good hostess.
You don't have to. You perfectly continue.
I'm distracted by the 9,000 rice recipes that have now been inserted into.
The problem is I'm not going to make none of them. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go buy some more dang rice is probably what I'm going to do. I'm never going to get rid of it.
Well, listen. I think what you should do is possibly put an ad up somewhere. If anyone's getting married, you have rice sachets. We're not supposed to throw rice anymore, though, for the birds, right?
Well, I don't know.
Anyway, moving on. But you got all kinds of great recipes in here.
I had them the first time when I went and bought risotto. She literally gave me a whole recipe and broke it down step by step, because I don't cook. Like, right. Turn the stove on, boil the water. It's like
actually, that's a really good idea. Sherry H said bring it to a local food bank or a local food club.
There is none. There is no local. Well, for me, because I don't drive, and so the only option I had was somebody to come pick it up, and they won't call me back. So that's why I still have it.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. Cat Mama, I apologize. I got sidetracked. So I started out with the Knight of Swords. Followed by the Ace of Swords. We have the Lover's card. You know what that is? I think that's crabs on the card. And we have the Three of Pentacles. And so I feel like, we have the Page of Swords on the bottom of the deck. You got a whole lot of swords energies here. So I don't know if you're working on something, if you're going to be working with a person, a collaboration of some sort, a partnership of some sort. Maybe you're doing something in your community, but it feels like you are having some sort of like idea, some sort of inspiration. You're going to be moving towards that. If you happen to be working with those people, you're going to feel very closely connected to them. So I don't know if it is we're talking a whole lot about church and stuff like that. So maybe it's someone that you know at your local church or someone within your community, right? That's what I got. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Oh, thank you, Amanda. She said, Johnie, you are so sweet. You too, Kelly. Thanks very much.
I try to be. God don't like ugly.
So I don't know if that makes sense or not, Cat Mama. But that's what I sort of got for you. Now that's so weird. The chat is going blank.
It doesn't.
Oh, there, it's back. So weird. Lots of people in here. Amanda's in here, and my husband's in here, of course. MJ420 is in here. Ron Unconditional Love. I see you. I see you.
Do you read for yourself?
Did you hear that story? So a couple of days ago, pretty much when you had pulled the tower card for yourself, I was standing in the kitchen one day making myself a cup of tea and thought, you know what? You should do a reading for yourself, Kelly. And I don't ever do that. But anyhow, I came back to my little desk here and I thought, yes, this seems like a great idea. And I didn't ask a question and got the tower card and the devil card. And I was like, those aren't for me, for sure. So I put them back in the deck and I put it aside. And then I picked them up about a half an hour later because now I've got to know the answer. And again, I don't ask a question. I start shuffling. And of course, the tower card comes out again. And I'm like, now I'm getting excited. Now I'm starting to get anxious. I'm feeling all hot and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, something's going to happen. And I like go off. I'm like over there somewhere, right? I'm like, where's the chat? I need to ask, right? I need to call a friend. And all of a sudden, the thought came to me that I normally say when I do my daily readings, and that is, it's a general message. If it resonates, claim it. If it does not, leave it behind. I'm like, it's not for me. I'm leaving it behind. You are not supposed to do readings for yourself. And then I was like, no, Kelly, come on, like smart enough. And then next day, everyone seen my wellness reading, and I owned it, and I did it live on the air, and and I was like, okay, so this is what is happening. So, yeah,
It's not a bad combination. It's actually a kind of a good combination sometimes depending on what the question is and all that, of course. But
right.
The tower breaks the devil's chains, so
Yeah.
you could be breaking chains of something.
Yeah.
But they are not the cutest cars to come popping out.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like my cards have a tendency of flying, and it sort of got me a little excited, and I was like, and it's funny because again, to that point that I made earlier to Heather, right? That I say, Kelly, you got to, trust me. I'll answer your question. I'm like, you need to trust yourself. It's just not something that I've ever really done. I don't do a reading for myself, but what I will do is this. I will just sit here and I'll start shuffling my cards. And I'll be thinking about something or thinking about nothing that I'm aware of. And, then you get a card and it's like, got it.
The more time you spend with them, the more connected you are. The more connected you are, the more psychic you'll become.
Yeah.
So I say do it.
Need to sweeten up. That's what I need to do. Yeah. So
Especially since you know and you have confirmation that there are people working with you.
Yes.
Yeah, just keep it going.
Yeah. So Mama Bear's question is, I'm watching Dahmer. My question is, did he really feel remorse?
This is the person who ate people. Is that him? Or is that that's the Manson guy? Who is Dahmer? I don't know who these people. I know he's a serial something.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. Is he the one that ate people, or is that Manson? Ranson. What was his name, too?
I know.
I hadn't had a TV in 12 years, so I have no idea.
Oh, thank you, Libra Lady. Libra Lady gave me an awesome idea about offering gift certificates for private readings, and was kind enough to purchase one for her cousin for her upcoming birthday. And so she's telling me to go ahead and promote my gift certificate.
Yes.
So I have available if anyone would like to purchase a reading for someone for a gift. Thank you, Libra Lady. You're so sweet. So yes, Dahmer is the one that ate people. Ew.
Did he feel remorse? No, he felt loneliness. It's different.
Yeah.
The Five of Wands, there's conflict sometimes, and with these combinations, mind you, there's inner conflict. The Hermit goes inside. Yeah. He goes within to find the answers, that type of thing. So this is an inner conflict. So he was not remorseful. He was alone. And sometimes it feels like, oh my God, I messed my life up when nobody likes me anymore. So, but no, that's not remorse. That's guilt. That's loneliness. That's all that stuff. But to feel sorry is a completely different thing, because if you're truly sorry, at some point, you're going to go to someone and try to make that up. They don't have to forgive you, but at least you have to try. And he did not go through them steps, I don't think. And so he had more of a loneliness and an inner conflict, I think.
Well, I agree, but I mean, I got War. Bye, Ron. Have a good night's rest, my dear friend. We got War, and then I've got the glasses. Okay. And I've got Sprout. Then I have got the Farmer. And then I've got Home on the bottom of this deck. And so I sort of feel like, as gross as it may sound, I feel like he obviously he was conflicted. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. But in his mind, he was feeding himself somehow. And I don't mean that literally, even though he was literally feeding himself. But there was something within him, you know. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm not explaining this right, but you know what I mean? It was like he was feeding a part of his you know what I mean?
There's something in him that wanted something, and he thought he was filling that hole, filling the void.
Yes, but it was like, but he wasn't. So he just kept, ew.
Something in him craved that kind of attention. Now, mine is destructive, but it was still in him, whether it's destructive or not. I mean, everybody's got a destructive side. It's just what you do with it when you get up in the morning.
There's something
to be a good person or bad person.
Well, that's interesting, Anna. She says, "Oh, Mama Bear says he wore glasses." Woo, okay. Anna Banana says like a sense of power, and then Terry says, "Was he trying to absorb their souls?" And I sort of think with the Sprout. So either this is down in his, in his ancestry, that like this sort of weird behavior lies. So the farmer, right? When you look at a farmer's field and they sow, right? They plant the seeds and then they sow them and they're perfectly lined up. This is more like a mental thing than it is a feeling thing, I think, for him. But there's something about the home. It's like a sense of security or a sense of safety, or maybe some secrets in the home, maybe secrets with the ancestors. I don't know. He gave himself to Jesus Christ while in prison. Interesting.
They all do. That or Allah. They all do. They ain't got nothing else to do. It's either work out or pray.
Or make license plates. That's really interesting.
You go to sleep. You get up, you eat, you go to sleep. You get up, you eat, you go to sleep. You pray or you work out in between. Ain't no chess boards, ain't no Monopoly, ain't no hack and sack, ain't no bowling, no game night, none of that business. It's prison.
That's crazy. All right, I have a really, really, really burning question. I ask this all the time, and I'm not going to stop until I finally get a reader that's going to give me the right answer. I want to know if One Direction is getting back together.
The right answer, you said?
I ask all the time.
Well, that's the first card.
Oh, don't ruin it, Johnny. Don't ruin it. No.
Don't pull no more. Don't pull. So, okay. The Sun and the Eight of Wands. There's good conversations. So, and at the core of any groups breaking up, I don't care if it's just a group at work, is bad communication.
Right.
At the core of all of it. And so we have a good communication is how we start, which means not necessarily that they're going to get back together, but they're going to come to the table with at least open minds and conversation.
Right.
Because then you have the Three of Cups and the Five of Pentacles. You may not have all sides that agree on everything, though. Right. So here with the group itself, there's some feelings that are hurt. There's some people who are left out and that type of thing. So it may not be all of them on the same page, but that doesn't mean they can't do one thing. The Empress and the Four of Wands. This is, I don't know if there is like there's some sort of thing that they're bringing into the world. It's a structure. It's maybe a stadium even, to where they'll do some sort of show, maybe a one night only type of thing with the Hermit. The word of warning is the Star. So this is the future, the hopes, the inspiration, that type of thing. So they still need to work things out. But like I said, when we had started, at least we're having better conversations than we did. The word of solace is the High Priestess. So we are in a place right now where we need to be a little more open, a little more honest. The High Priestess has all the knowledge, but you do have to pay to get it some sort of way.
Yeah.
And then it ends in the agreement card, the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is not just agreements, it's also commerce, it's unions, it's bonds, cooperations on the same page. So it sort of carries the same energy like the Lover's card. So I would say yes. As long as we can continue healthy dialogue, then yes. They have to maintain this. You cannot come in here with the it's all about me attitude. Maintain this, and then we will get here.
Well, I am a happy camper right now. Thierry said that she got the devil card.
See, it's egos, though. You got to move that out of the way. Have a healthy conversation, and you'll be fine.
May I just say, on that particular point of One Direction, not too many days ago, Kelly Clarkson got her star on the Walk of Fame.
Oh, did she?
And, Simon Cowell and Paula Abdul were there with her as her guests. Mm-hmm. And Simon said the nicest thing. He said that if it wasn't for Kelly Clarkson, he wouldn't be there.
Yeah,
and
I believe
Kelly Clarkson just kind of looked at him like, well, that was really nice. And he said, no, seriously, because you actually came out season 1, and look at what you've done, and you actually validated and encouraged and inspired all of these other people, which have made all of those kinds of shows successful. And I was like, wow.
Because in the industry talk that I heard, the established artists hated American Idol because
Yes.
people were being awarded with fame and fortune for singing karaoke. And so
Right.
they hated American Idol. And she, if you look back on American Idol, they had what they made maybe 2, 3 stars.
Yeah.
And she was one of them. They got like 80 seasons, but they only made
Yeah.
like a few stars. And
Yes.
so she was the first one. She sort of concrete and validated that this is a show. This is a real thing. That these are
Yes.
people who have real talent.
Right.
And so, yeah, I believe it. That's
Yeah.
the truth.
I just
I'm
thought
glad he
that
knows it.
yeah, it was a really nice thing for him to say. So Amanda says, "Okay, I want Earth, Wind, and Fire back." I mean, I'm all about it. I'm all about
They're
it.
not. They're not separated though. Are they just
No.
not doing anything?
Well, I think. I mean, do they sing still? Every once in a while, maybe.
The man, oh God, what is his name? Is David or something like that? He wrote September.
Hmm.
He did a big concert where he got all the people he wrote songs because he was called the hit maker.
Right.
So he did Donna Summer's Last Dance. He did Shaka Khan's Through the Fire.
Right.
And he did Earth, Wind, and Fire's September. And he had everybody come in to do one big concert while he played
Nice.
the piano, whatever. And they were together then, but that was, mind you, this was a while ago. But
Right.
I don't think they're like broken up to where they don't like each other.
No,
But
I don't think so either. I just think that you don't hear about them as much. Heather says she wants the Spice Girls to reunite, all of them, a new album. I don't think that that's ever going to happen because I don't.
they broke everybody's heart back then, didn't it?
Yeah, Jerry. Yeah, Simon told Jennifer Hudson that she would never make it. Look at how she's doing now. Earth, Wind, and Fire just played in Phoenix. Sorry, what was that?
So she was one of the people that was an actual star from that show. And I don't think she won, did she?
No, she did not. She got kicked off.
Mm-hmm. And see, she's a bigger star. Oh, it was that gray-haired dude. I think he's the one that won. And she's the bigger star.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, where American Idol is concerned, and I'm sure that The Voice is the same way. It was about the voting, right? And back in the day when American Idol first started, you had to be able to afford to text message 700,000 times, the same as Dancing with the Stars stuff, right? I think that that's interesting though, because there was a lot of people that were on those shows that were very, very talented and never really got their moment. I was watching a show with, oh gosh, I'm going to forget her name now. She won season 5 of The Voice, I think. Tess Chang, something I think is her name. And when Obama was in the White House, he had musical nights, musical concerts for all different genres of music. It's on YouTube. You can find it. Ariana Grande was there, Jill Scott, Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle.
I've seen that one.
Melissa Etheridge. I mean, the thing was off the chains. But anyways, it was about women in soul. And she came on there and sang Last Dance, Donna Summer's song, and blew everyone right out of their seats. It was so flippin' good. She's so talented. And I hate to say that I never heard of her before, and I've not ever seen her since. So, it's like Leona Lewis.
It's hard for those shows to make stars now. I don't know. Maybe people's interest have moved on, or the business model is failing. But like nobody is really setting it on fire like a Kelly Clarkson did kind of after that.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like you watch the show and then like you move on and you've sort of forgotten about them, right? Yes, I agree. Carrie Underwood is a huge star from American Idol as well. But I mean, Adam Lambert did okay, right? he's he's not my favorite, but I mean, he's out there and he's doing his thing. But and Chris Daughtry did all right for a little bit, but he seems to have been quiet for a while.
Because he had a bad falling out with American Idol. He wanted no, that wasn't him. That was the other guy, Philip Phillips or something like that.
Right.
He wanted out of his because you have to sign a contract if you win,
Right.
and he wanted out of it because you can't do anything except what they tell you to do. If you are part of their thing.
Yeah. I heard that, Heather.
I've never watched. I think I've watched maybe one episode of American. I don't like to see people being judged, so I can't do it.
Right.
It makes me anxious. So it's like,
I watched it back in the day when it first came out. Oh, I have a question. I mean, totally. Not really. I mean, I don't know if there's no theme, but since we're here, what do we think about
cool.
Biden was hot mic, or it was out. It's come out in the news that he was talking, and he was still being recorded, and everyone's saying for all the right reasons, right? And a couple of days ago, maybe a week or so ago now, he was standing at the podium and he was doing his I don't know, he was giving some speech and he had a flyer in his hand. And he was reading the words from the flyer and he started to laugh because it was a Republican taking credit for the bill that they all voted no to. Right? And he was like, you gotta love these guys. Like it was actually really funny the way that he did it. And so I wanna know, is this, and I don't even like using this term, but you know how they're all saying like, you know, like hot Brandon and all this, like is that the side of Biden that we want?
Embracing dark Brandon?
Yeah, that's it, dark Brandon. Yeah. I'm Canadian, what the hell do I know? That's what I want to know. I want to know if it's going to take off. I want to know if people are going to embrace it. Yes, I remember him. Oh my gosh, he was so cute. American Idol. The gingham guy, or not the gingham guy. Yeah, the guy who tried to mimic the Gangnam dance or whatever the heck it's called. Hi, Sharon Side.
I say yes. In the swords and the strength. Here is this is the combination that you want to see if you need some encouragement. The 8 of Swords is limitations. It's bindings. It's restrictions. This is usually a mental thing because it starts with you, but not always. It's a restriction of some sort. This is strength, but not through force, but through gentility and meekness, even temperance. And so you can conquer anything and everything in this world, but you do not have to be forceful to do it. You ain't got to come out. You ain't got to throw no fingers. You ain't got to roll no neck. You ain't got to curse you. A soft answer turneth away wrath. When I talk low and you realize you're the only one screaming, I win. So yes, there is a way to embrace it, to change the conversation and the judgment, to conquer that, and to completely change and control the narrative. So I do believe so, yes.
I love that. Kristen is correcting me. William Hung did shebang. I mean, all I can say is I'm old, Kristen. I got the Chariot and the 9 of Wands. With the Page of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Sorry, helps if you put it in front of the camera, Kelly. So I feel like, you know, if he sort of lets people see this more human side of him, in terms of, because it's quite, to me, and this is my opinion, it's quite a contrast from the Sleepy Joe image that people are trying to sort of encapsulate him in, right?
Mhm.
When he shows that, it shows you that he's not oblivious. He just really doesn't give a crap. And he's not rattled. He's not concerned. He is actually kind of like, that's kind of funny. You know what I mean? And you're kind of like, oh, you little bugger, you were really paying attention. It's kind of like that kind of thing. So I think that that's really interesting. But yeah, I think that if he sort of uses this and sort of blends it in the right way, that it is pushing him towards breaking open a part of society that doesn't see him as someone who is actually confident or doing anything in particular. Do you know what I mean? I think a
And
lot of
that's a good lesson for all of us. Like a conversation we were having beforehand.
yeah,
What you think is what you think.
right,
What I take on is what I take on.
right,
It is not even if you said the nastiest thing in the world to me, it will still bother me because we're human. I get it.
right,
But it is still now my responsibility to not let your words penetrate my psyche
right.
because I still have to be in control of that after you have gone and left. And because you can dump all the ugliness on me and just walk away, you're scot free. Like how the whole saying of how do these people sleep at night? They sleep just
Yeah,
fine because I left it with you.
yeah, yeah,
And so it's like, you know what? No, you
yeah,
can have that back. I'll go on. I'll be fine. I'm gonna feel some kind of way right now,
yeah,
but this cannot define me unless I
right,
let it.
yeah,
And so that's kind of how I feel he's doing here is okay. That's fine. I'll
yeah,
use it actually.
yeah, yeah.
Might even sell it for
It's really quite interesting, and I have to say that uh, you know, I don't know that I would say that I was a fan of anybody, right? But I seen that the other day, and I had to hit that thing on. I had to rewind that and play that again. I was like, "That's hysterical! Like
Mhm.
that's so funny." I'm like, "Go Joe!" Like I just thought it was funny, right? Um, yeah, I was like, "Yeah, right on. I like it." Cat Mama says exactly, Johnny, 100%. Anna Banana has left. Good night, Anna. Thank you for being here.
Especially with
Um,
YouTube. YouTube, they people look, listen. When I first started YouTube,
right,
I was almost kind of a bit nervous because when I started watching YouTube, I remembered I was watching gamers when I first started. They get the nastiest comments you have ever seen, ever, because everything they're doing in their video is not what the person watching would do. And so now they're an idiot and they're stupid and they're
yeah,
wish to kill themselves, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
I'm like, okay, these are the worst people in the world. And so when I started YouTube, I was kind of bracing for it a little bit.
yeah,
And then I get just 99.9% positive comments. And it's
yeah,
like, this is totally unexpected.
right,
And so it's one of them things though. Every now and then somebody
yes,
will come along and say, you suck and die, all these type of things. And then you have to keep in mind, I can't let that penetrate my psyche.
right,
That person number one doesn't know me. That
exactly,
person number two at the end of my life will not be there to keep me out of hell or to get me into heaven. So their opinion really doesn't matter. Whether I
right,
like you, love you, hate you, or leave you. It really
yeah,
doesn't. And
yeah,
so you have to make up your own mind that that's not going to bother me. It'll bother me right now because we're still human. We react. Whether I don't care how
absolutely,
much training you got, we react.
yeah,
And then you have to leave it there and you have to move on.
yeah.
That's the
Um,
work.
I appreciate you saying that because that is really the truth. That's, I mean, I have always cared about certain people's opinions of me, like my family. I obviously don't want to disappoint them, I mean, if I do, But it's not like I'm going out of my way to, act a fool intentionally and be like, you got to anyways. I'm not doing that. But people that are mean spirited, it really is those old lessons that we learned as children. It's petty, it's jealousy, it's, envy, whatever. And I try to consider the source and leave it. There are times, though, when it really, really, really wounds you, or it stings, or they've triggered you in some way. And it can be very, very difficult to let that kind of stuff go. And to that point, I will say this. When someone does that to you, no matter what your pain is or your past baggage that you may be holding on to, if you can't come to terms with it and release it and let it go where it needs to be, right? Perhaps consider it from this particular perspective. And this perspective is, why would you give someone who dismissed you or dissed you in that kind of way that kind of power over you? No way, no how, no thank you. I take my power back. You don't deserve any more of my energy or my time. And I almost sort of steel myself to it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to say what I want to say, but I'm not going to say it on YouTube. But y'all know what I mean.
I never understood jealousy and envy. Now I can get jealousy and envy is different. Envy is hatred. I almost want to harm you because I want what you have. Jealousy is like, oh, I really want that, and I'm a little jealous. Like, I'm a little slight jealous of people who can draw. I can't whatsoever. Right. Someone drew that for me, and right. She has fantastic talent. But I don't want to break her fingers because I can't do it. And so there's like people out there who, my whole life, it still boggles my mind. Jealous of not because of what I have, but because of how people treat me. Yep. Because I always am the new person on the block, and then everybody else is like, oh, why do they like you and they don't like me?
Right.
Because I'm not trying to take nothing from them, or I'm not trying to get over on them. I'm not trying to lie to their face, or
right.
This is me.
I think most times when it comes to us human beings, we react situationally, usually, really, really quickly. 30 seconds and we've already formed an opinion. If we sort of take a seat behind ourselves and get out of our own way and look at it from a perspective of just watching, not being involved in it, sometimes you are able to see the situation for what it really is and understand that this is just who you are. But we as human beings and our critical voice don't often think of ourselves as an individual and, I have this talent and this asset and that asset and you have that and so on. We don't think of those terms. We look at you and go, oh, I want that. How come I can't be like that? Well, nobody laughs at my jokes like they laugh at Johnie. You know what I mean? Like that's how we react. And if you are brought up in a way where you're not able to express yourself, or you don't know how to express yourself, or perhaps you were, told, like I was brought up in a certain time and place where children should be seen and not heard, and we were not encouraged to speak our mind. So maybe you are one of those kids like, I want this, I want that, because now you have a voice and you're trying to use it, but you don't use it in an effective or necessarily positive way. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think oftentimes that we just sort of look at a situation. My ex-husband was like that.
See, I can't. I want everybody to be happy. And I know that sounds generic and Hallmark cardish, but I honestly do. And I don't mean happy in a destructive way, as in what that person really wants is harmful, like a Vladimir Putin type of thing.
Right.
No, I want everybody to be genuinely okay. Yeah. To be happy with what they have. to be okay in this world, that type.
Yeah.
That's what I genuinely want. And because because I have that. I'm fine. I've never had a bad day in my whole life. And I want everybody else to have that perspective. And so
Right.
it's almost like I want to mind control you so that you know
Yeah.
everything is okay. It's like it's just that's what I want is where I don't want people to walk around with a gut full of problems or
Yeah.
envy or strife or there's no need for that. They just what is it doing for you?
Yeah.
Nothing. Just leave it alone then. If it don't work, leave it. Then you ain't got to try to fix everything. Just find another one. Get you some.
I mean, it's hard, right? It is really, really hard when you have been hurt and you've lived a rough life for whatever the reasons were. It's difficult to pull yourself up and out. And then you find someone, right? You watch a movie, you read a book, you listen to a song, you go on YouTube and you hear someone's story and you realize that it is possible. And you see it before your very eyes. And, someone shares something of their story and you can see like some kind of line, some kind of trace that, resonates with you. And all of a sudden you feel like you have the skill set that you need now to sort of lift yourself up. And I think that's what I enjoy the most about this channel and doing this is like you were saying, right? Bracing yourself for impact, putting myself out there and sharing my story was not really on my radar. And, but I'm telling you, when I sit here and I have some conversations and I see people share things that I know they wouldn't normally share, or I see them coming back time after time, and each time they say something different, I feel like they're healing right there before my eyes. And not like you're healed in that kind of way, just you are, you know what I mean? It's just a beautiful thing to be a part of. And
it is healing to know that you're not by yourself.
Yeah.
That even if I have trauma or pain, somebody else does too. And even though that links us, we don't have to be defined by trauma and pain. But at the very least, I know somebody else knows what I'm saying. It's not just bouncing off the wall back at me. Like somebody get it. Somebody absorbed it. Somebody can help with it at the very least.
Yeah. I feel like it's the feeling of, I mean, for me specifically, it was finally someone heard what I was saying.
Yeah.
Not that people weren't listening to me, because I had a whole lot of people listening to me. I mean, hello, have you heard how much I talk? I mean, you can't really listening to me, but like no one was actually hearing what I was saying. I literally felt like I was out in the middle of the ball field screaming to the top of my lungs, and like the whole team had like gone to another park. You know what I mean? I was like, hello, I'm over here. No one was listening until I came to this community and finally felt like people were actually listening to me. And so I say so many times, right? Just saying hi to someone in the chat can literally make all the difference to them in the world, because you have no idea what brought them here, right? And not everyone feels comfortable to share, right?
We are suitcases in the life of baggage claim. You don't know what's in each one of them. They got their own story.
Like that. Suitcases in the life of baggage claim. I like that. But yeah, that's what I think. Does anyone have any questions? Are we just going to sit here and chat, or I just got to go back to the store? I don't know what's going on.
They don't close till midnight. I got plenty of time. I'm going to the rooms for this time.
Yeah, I just, you know what, I love being here on YouTube. I really do. I love the community that I have created. And when I say I've created, I mean here on my channel. I'm not, dissing anyone else's community. I'm just saying, right?
You claim it. You're on your channel. You get to say whatever you want.
Oh, did you? I'm so sorry, Sherry. Well, type your question in again, honey, and I'll get you answered. I'm sorry. I was talking to Johnie. I wasn't paying attention. I apologize.
Well, you did put it. You got it in the star thing.
Oh, do I? Well, what the hell?
She said she had her first download the other day.
Well, see, Johnny will help me out with the hard stuff. Sorry, Sherry, don't type, honey. I got you. Thank you, Johnny. I'm such a bad hostess, honestly. I had my first download the other day when I was live doing a show, and it really caught me by surprise. Should I expect that to happen more?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe you could ask to have it happen. Well, we'll see. Because they tend to do what they want when they want sometimes, but will it happen more?
I think the first thing I want to say before I pass this part is don't get in your head about this. Don't get about it because I did it. As I said earlier, it was coming up to my mother's 10th passing anniversary, and that felt like a major test for me personally. And I had a reading done, and I was told that my father was around me and wanted to communicate with me, but would not use the medium. He said it was private between me and him, and that freaked me out. And so I was told that I could tell him just to hold on until I was ready, till I got past that moment in time, and then I was ready to communicate with him. And that moment in time passed, and then I kept asking, and he still hasn't come through. So the point is, I started to freak out and get all like crazy about it. So I'm saying to you, don't get in your head about it. Just be like open to it. That's what I'm saying before I toss my cards. That's cool, MJ.
So I'm not asking, should you expect it to happen more? I'm going to ask, what do they want to say about the situation?
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen more. Only way your psychic gifts don't continue is if you close yourself off to them. But whatever has happened will happen again. If you've experienced it once, you'll experience it again. But baby step it, just take it as it comes and throw it out there, because you're the vessel. We as human beings are not psychic. We don't know nothing. We as a spirit being, though, we are connected to, and we are just the vessel. They can't speak out loud, and so we do that part. But you get the death and the magician. Good combination. There's going to be major changes to your talents and your skills. And so we're talking major changes. There is no more bigger, greater change than death itself, from life to death and then back again. So there will be major changes to your skills and your talents. The Knight of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. Do not, the Knight of Swords is erratic, so it may start to pop in and out.
Yay, we got the same card.
And the Wheel of Fortune is the wheel of life. And so it is going to happen, especially over the next course of a year. So about this time next year, you'll have a whole different grasp about what's going on, but it is going to pop in and out. So don't freak out if it doesn't come back in 10 days, but don't freak out if you have one in the next 3 minutes. So it's gonna be erratic. It's kind of like somebody's tuning the station. And so you'll hear a voice, you'll hear the station click in now and then until you really get it, you really got it. 5 of Wands, the Hierophant, and the 8 of Wands. So there are going to be messages from the divine here too, but they are going to be, they may sometimes be fuzzy. Again, tuning the radio, they may sometimes be fuzzy. They may also hear something. I suggest too, big time, do not doubt what you hear. Just say it. It may not make sense to you. It may not even make sense to the person you said it to right now. And so it may be one of those things where they're sitting there doing literally nothing, and it's like, oh wait, now that makes sense. So don't be in conflict with the messaging. It's something that you're supposed to say. Again, we're the vessel. Don't filter it. Just say it the way it's supposed to be said, because it's going to make sense to who you said it to. Don't doubt yourself. This is your word of warning. Your 7 of Swords. Don't hinder your own gift. The word of solace, the good news card, is the Star. So most positive card in the tarot for me. Things are going to get better. And your intuition is how it ends with the Page of Cups. Baby step it. So you don't have to try to get it all in one day. You don't have to be a master psychic in one lifetime. So baby step it. intuition, you will have more surprises as well come through. So this is a good time. This is a good thing. You should expect more, yes. The antenna is tuning. By this time next year, you'll have a better grasp on it than you do right now.
This is really interesting. So I start out with the 10 of Earth. I have the 6 of Earth. I have the 8 of Fire. I have the Knight of Air, or the Knight of Swords. I feel like, just sort of like what I said, right? And I'm not being smart when I say that, Sherry, because I know how exciting that moment is when that happens. No matter what, like you're saying you had this in the middle of a reading, and I had it while I was going potty at 3 a.m. It's one of those things that kind of catches you off guard, but at the same time, you're like, wow, this is so amazing. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's happening fast. You feel like it's probably happening faster than it actually is, because you've been probably getting these subtleties for a long time, but maybe you weren't aware, or you didn't know how to recognize them, or you just sloughed them off. I think that the reason why I've got the 6 of the Earth and the 8 of Fire, right? So it's like the giving and the receiving. You have to set boundaries up for yourself and make sure that you're fully aligned and centered and ready to accept and be open, so that you actually hear what they're saying to you instead of missing it. I'm sure I've missed it a whole bunch of times, right? You probably have as well. The Knight of Air, that's using discernment in terms of understanding that sometimes it's going to happen and it's going to be crystal clear. Other times it's going to happen and you're not going to know it. Other times it'll happen and 3 hours later you'll be like, oh, damn, that's what that was. Right? How many times I've been in a chat and I've heard people say, like, why is my ear ringing? And then the reader will say, well, because you were probably getting information. I mean, right? It's like we were saying earlier about reading on yourself, right? So stand in your truth, know who you are. If you ask others to trust you when you're reading, then trust yourself when you're receiving the information, right? I want to say that to you. And really interestingly, I pulled 2 oracle cards, and I got this. What am I listening for? Okay. I mean, just look at that. The wise old owl, right? The great horned owl here. Listening and hearing are 2 totally different things, right? And if you're like, oh, what was that? What was that? Was that what I think? You know what I mean? Don't do that to yourself. Just allow it to come naturally. And the second card I got was Flames of Desire. Okay. Let them shine out in radiant light and shun dark paths. So in other words, be open to it. Be open to it and make sure that you do not put your boundaries up to protect yourself, but don't have the boundaries so close to you that you don't let anything in. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? Mama Bear's like, that's me. So I hope that helps a bit, Sherry. Sorry, I missed your question, hon.
In my classes, I preach this over and over and over and over and over again. There's no need to be a master psychic in 6 weeks. There's no need to be a master psychic in 1 lifetime. Remain teachable. I don't care how long you've been reading cards or tea leaves or how long you've been a psychic. I've been a psychic for 40 years. Okay, good for you.
Yeah.
Spirit is older than you still.
Yeah.
So I don't care how long you've been doing it. Remain teachable, and I guarantee you it will give you something you did not have yesterday. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
There is no master psychic, in my opinion. Anyway, that's just my opinion. There's a learner. We're all in the learning lane. We should be.
Well, we should be open to the learning, right?
Yes, be teachable. If you think you know everything, then good luck to you. But remain teachable. Everybody.
Yeah. Good luck to you, right?
If you know everything.
Mm-hmm. Look at the look on his face, dude.
Now open the church so we can come worship you, since you know
That's
everything.
it. That's really it. You know, like all of us, it is difficult when you are first experiencing these things, right? My sister the other day, I will share with you. So my sister the other day phones me up. This is a funny story, so settle in for a hot minute. So way back in the day, I hope my sister's not listening to this. You know, I love you. So way back in the day, a long time ago, my sister had occasion to go out with her then best friend from high school when they were about, in their early 20s. And they went out on like a Saturday night, as girls do, and they were partying it up, and they had some cocktails, and they had driven to said place and then took cabs to other places along the party route that evening. And I got a phone call at like 2 a.m. And the phone call was, Kelly. And I'm like, what? It was like, no, honey. It was like, I need you to come and get me kind of call, right? And I'm like, okay, where are you? He's like, we're at the Mamata. And I'm like, the who? Okay, so we have a hotel called the Ramada. It starts with an R, but because they were intoxicated, it was the Mamata. And I was like, I don't know where that is. So I literally had to drive around looking for the Mamata because it doesn't exist. Anyway, so that was just a funny story. So the other night, I was sitting here and my phone rang. It was Saturday night. My phone rang, and I hear my sister say, she's going to think something's wrong. And I was like, oh my God. Well, guess who was over? My sister is still friends with that same person from the Mamata. And so I was lost. Like I was just in high stir. I just thought it was the funniest thing ever. Anyways, so the friend wants a reading, and my sister's maybe had a cocktail or a few, and is telling me that she's like, I told her that you did readings for the girls, and like you're so amazing, and I'm like, oh, thanks, honey. Like, it was just funny. It was just funny. And so I did the reading, and she's like, oh my God, thank you so much. I feel so much better. And I'm like, you won't remember anything I said tomorrow. Sure. But anyways, the whole point is that, it's times like that and moments like that when people will say to you, that was spot on. Yes, that resonates. Or you get an email that says, I think that you're the only person that can help. Or, whatever, something of that nature. That's when you know that you're resonating. And I think that that's the thing that, for me personally, that is the thing that I concentrate on. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at what ocean currents.
When you said Kelly, I'm thinking, this popped into my head. It was like Blair Witch Project or somebody in the dark. Like, hey, how to get this?
Yeah, that's so funny. She drunk dialed a psychic. That's hilarious. Man, I was not laughing that night. Let me tell you, when I found her, I was like, get in the car. Because the other thing was, not only did I couldn't find her, she didn't know where she left her car. And she was like, drive me all around. I'm like, you don't know where the hell your car is. So it's so not impressed. Anyway. My whole point was, I take it like this. I don't know, I want to resonate. I'm thrilled when people say that, yes, that resonates. Yes, that's spot on, whatever. But really all I want to do is when people come here, I want to create a comfortable space where they feel like they can share and they can ask and get some information. You know what I mean? My sister is a hoot. Ocean Garnett. She actually came here to visit the channel one night. She was on the screen with me for our mother's 10th anniversary. Sorry, Amanda just said, "Oh my God, been there. Sadly, lost my car." I had a moment too, Amanda. My car was stolen right out of my driveway in broad daylight, and honestly, it was not that funny. Like, you know, the Mamada thing, but it was a moment like that because we lived in this old house that was converted into apartments, and it had a convenience store in the front of it, and we lived at the back of it. And so my husband went out, started the car, went to the store, came back, and the car was gone. And I'm like, you know, like, I can't find my car. Like, literally, it was kind of one of those moments. But yeah, and it was like Sunday afternoon at like 2:30 in the afternoon. Goodness. So there was no drinking involved. It was perfectly daylight outside, right? Yeah, yeah, and that's how fast it happens here in the big city. What? Oh, my husband's giving me crap because I told the Mamada story. Just about you. No, but here, yeah. Sorry. See, now, why are you saying that? Now I'm going to feel all paranoid that my sister's going to get mad. She knows what I'm like.
No, that means he has a Mamada story too. He told you this.
He probably does. He probably does. Hi, Jay. He probably does. Mark, do you want me to tell the story about your Mamada story? He's like, good night. Oh my God. Mark, my husband, he doesn't have a Mamada story that I'm aware of. he's like, I'll turn the internet off. That's what he's yelling about. I'll pull your plug. What? Don't think I won't do. I don't even know. Do you have a Mamada story? He's like, I'm sure I have one or two. Carter Mancy wants me to tell your story, Mark.
Carter Mancy doesn't live with you, though, so leave that one alone.
Marie Henson says, I've ridden my 10-speed bike home drunk. Won't dare drive, though. Sober after 4-mile ride home. No crap, you would be. Wow. See, now, I don't drink, so I'm that friend. I always seem to have more friends at the end of the night. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, Barry, how? I'm like, sure. Why not? Hi, Linda.
I've had a drink maybe on purpose anyway. When I was a kid, you know, when I was 16, I drank everything because I was 16 and I was in a house full of people who were all high and they didn't care. So I tasted everything. But when I got to be an adult to buy it on my own, I had a drink one time and I'm like, this is the worst thing. And people do this on purpose. Like, I can't.
Well, you know,
beer is the worst. I can't.
I just think it tastes gross, but I mean, I have to be honest that I just I never really wanted to waste my money. Like my friends, you know, it was like they would all go and they would be broke and I would be like, I'll just have a pop. I don't need it. I'd be like, hey, like I'm fine. I don't need any liquid encouragement.
Yeah, this here does not need to be drunk whatsoever.
No, because you know what happens if I'd be like, and then like, oh, like, not talking, like you're so quiet. And I'm like,
I had a drink once. We went out
one time at band camp. I had a drink.
Office party type thing. We went to the Cheesecake Factory. I had a thing called the Georgia Peach, and it was like a fuzzy navel. So it was like really icy and slushy, and it had vodka, I guess, in it, and it had a peach flavor. So it was very sweet. It's like a popsicle. And I drank it, and I talk too much anyway. And so now I'm talking way too much. I'm like the only person at the table talking, and I'm like talking about everybody. And I'm like, And so I go outside though, and then the steps are doing one of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why are the steps moving? Like, who's doing this? Like, can we stop the steps from? They're all concrete, mind you. So I don't think it's not an escalator, sir. It's like,
Yeah.
but they're still moving. So that was me for a start. It was like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, thank you. This ain't for me, and it don't taste good anyway. No, I'd rather have a Sprite. I can't.
It's funny that you say that because I've never really like I don't like the taste, and I'll be honest, I don't like getting sick, and so I don't like losing control. You know, like I want to be the one that drives.
Wait a minute. Wait. Let's back up. That's how this sentence sounds. I don't like getting sick. Who does? Like, but it's like that's what happens when you drink too much. Is
Yeah.
you know you're gonna be sick, and you did it anyway.
Well, no, but it seems to me, in my personal experience with my friends that you know, in college and in high school and stuff, it's like the difference of like 2 sips between normal and complete lunatic. You know what I mean? And you know, wanting to jump out in the middle of traffic and do all kinds of weird stuff. And it's like that. It's that moment that I fear because I know I'd be like, you know, because I'm like the party animal. I mean. Do you know how many times people will be like, "Oh my God, you were so wasted. You had such a great time." I'm like, "Yeah, I was drinking pop the whole entire time. Like,
That's
you
all I need.
I was fine." But I mean, that's how insane I am that people thought I was drunk. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But
That's me. I'd sympathize. I really did. All you because again, Jim and I talk too much. If you push the button and turn it on, just stand back because it's don't invite me anywhere. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. We have 30 people listening to our insaneness.
This is my life. Welcome
listen. I have a question. It's one of my favorite questions to ask. This is a fire pit question. Tell me, if you all don't mind in the chat, I'm talking to the people in the chat. What TV sitcom do you think resembles your life the best? What TV sitcom do you think resembles your life? Or what TV sitcom do you wish your life or do you think was written about your life? That's another question. What TV sitcom? Right, Vivian? My sister always told me that she thought that when I got married and had a family, that I would be like Roseanne.
Where's the good part of Roseanne?
Is there? Well, no, but you know what she meant was because I was like, that's not very nice. But she said to me that you know because Roseanne was just very chill, very laid back in terms of her. You know, like
It was real. It was the first white family on TV who didn't have a big house and 4 cars.
Yeah,
she showed what real people look like.
Yeah. I thought my sister was referring to my potty mouth, but perhaps, I don't know. You guys got nothing? I thought that was a great question.
Soap operas? Oh, mercy. Say it ain't so, Marie.
Oh, I'm like as the stomach turns. That's mine. Totally. As the stomach turns. That used to be off of Carol Burnett. Love me some Carol Burnett. I used to think that my mother was bewitched, so that would have to be my show. And the reason I thought that is my mother literally had that hairdo.
Mm-hmm.
So she did. So I thought she was bewitched. I mean, it came out in 1964 and I was born in 65. So in all fairness, it was right there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's true.
Not Kid Bill. No.
Turns out my mom wasn't bewitched, by the way.
I love
In case any of you were wondering. I love that show. It was the best. Who was your favorite character on Bewitched?
Samantha. I like anybody though that was. I've always been drawn to those type of people, just witchy people. Period. So to know
My
that,
favorite character?
you know,
My favorite character was Aunt Clara.
well,
She was so sweet. On her
yes.
doorknob collection. I mean, come
And
on.
she was the person, like you want that person in your family. It's like that's the aunt that you want.
Yeah. I actually had my Aunt Carol actually reminded me of Aunt Clara, if I was being honest. And so maybe that's why. I don't know.
I'm Aunt Clara in my family.
They're the best. Everyone needs an Aunt Clara. Ocean Garnett says, I love Mary Tyler Moore and wanted to be her when I grew up, single and independent. Oh my God, I loved Mary Tyler Moore.
She gave birth to Murphy Brown. The whole, I can do it on my own.
Yeah. Terry says, my mom was in Dora. Sunflower Down Under says, I can't think of a soapy, but movie St. Trinian's full on. Linda says, yep, Bewitched is like my life. Marie says, Pauline was funny. Amanda says, I was going to say MASH, but that's not it. Courtship of Eddie's Father. That was a good show. I remember that show. Single parent family. Yes, we all have an Aunt Clara in our family, I think, somewhere. I used to like the Rhoda show. When Rhoda sort of broke off on her own, I used to like that.
You've never seen that.
You remember? Hello, this is Carlton, your doorman. We always talk through every time they would buzz from their apartment on the intercom, he would answer and say, hello, this is Carlton, your doorman. They're like, we know who it is, Carlton. I used to like Laverne and Shirley.
I love that too. I ain't seen that. Ugh, I don't even remember that show, but I've seen it 150 times because I used to like the intro, and so I had to make sure I watched it.
Schmiel, Schwazel, Shorts Beverage Incorporated. Da, 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 da. I'm gonna get a copyright claim now. Yes, that girl was awesome. Bob Newhart. Oh my gosh, I so wanted that thing. Group in session that he had on his door. I love that thing. That little sign is the best. 8 is Enough. Another one of my favorites. All in the Family. Yes. The first baby doll that came out that was a boy with a you know what. Mm-hmm. Little bit of trivia. Random. Oh, and Gilligan, yes.
I've never watched that.
You never watched Gilligan's Island?
Mm-mm. I was huge All of the Family fan. Still am. I still watch that.
Interesting.
When somebody illegally uploads it to YouTube, I watch it there.
Welcome back, Cotter. I love it. All right. What is your exotic dancer's name? So you asked me, how do we get our exotic dancer's name? And that is the name of your first pet and the street name. So if, for example, you lived on, Clark Street, it would just be Clark. You don't have to give it the street. You know what I mean? So let's say my first pet's name was Peanut, and I lived on Clark Street. My exotic dancer's name would be Peanut Clark.
You had to put Peanut Clark Bar at the end.
I love Charlie's Angels. I still watch it now. I'm not going to lie.
It's another one I didn't see.
Come on, Johnny. What are you doing?
It had to be like funny though for me to watch anything. And then when I got older, it had to be violent.
Nice.
It's like I'll watch it if it's violent, or I watched it if it was funny.
They weren't really neither. I have to know.
That's what I wanted.
Is anybody? Nobody. What? Nobody is. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. Alice Magnolia, Tuffy Monroe, Mittens Carol, Pepper Circle. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Mine is Mr. Moonsway, Queensway. Mr. Mooney, Queensway. Butch Ransom. Nacho University. That's awesome. Oh, I love Columbo.
That we did.
Oh my God, I have a really funny Columbo story, you guys. Like a really funny Columbo story. I don't know why I'm sharing so much. Here's my Columbo
This is
story.
what happens when we talk so much. We share.
When Mark and I were getting married, because it was my second marriage, I felt that, I didn't really need the whole big church thing and all that stuff. So we decided to get married in like a hall. And we had the minister come that married my mom and my sister. He came out of retirement to marry us, and that's lovely. And so we decided to do everything in the hall, from the wedding ceremony to the dinner part, the reception, or whatever you call it. And so we were there decorating earlier in the day, and Mark's grandfather came, and my mom came in the other entrance, didn't know that was his grandfather because she'd never met him, and she thought he was the cleaner. So she walked up to him and tapped him on the shoulder and said, "That's okay, I can take over." And I was like, how embarrassing is this, that my mother thinks my future in-laws are the help? I mean, this is it was like so bad. Anyway, the point is because I always thought his grandfather looked like Columbo. He had the coat and the dog and the cigar. Totally he did. And I mean, honestly, he looked just like Columbo. It was hysterical. And he had like the same kind of trench coat, and he smoked cigars, and he had the little puppy too. It's the cutest thing ever. I really thought he was Columbo.
But how sweet of your mom, though. She wanted to help.
Yeah.
She was like, "Let me take over."
Yeah. And I was like, "It's okay, love. You can go sit down. I'll take over." And I'm like, "Mom." That's so then I told her, I tried to say like he was Columbo, and she was like, "I'm so confused. He's the help. He's Columbo. What's going? Why is he here?" It's a whole story. It doesn't matter. Oh. Hi, Pooja. Honestly. Linda says, my friend moved to Highland, California, so she called me and goes, "Help me, Andy is the Sheriff Goober, is the gas attendant, and Aunt B lives around the corner." I love it. Oh my gosh. A question. We have a question.
Uh-oh, I gotta sit up now.
Marie Henson says, my self-portrait is a stick figure with long hair.
I wish.
Yeah, me too. Hi, Quincy. Do you want to come and say hi? Don't stand on the keyboard like I did before, okay? Please. So Pooja says, am I on the right path? I'm trying to put you get your tail out of the way, please. I don't know what's happening.
Playing with the universe, or do I have to look out?
I can't see because the cat's behind is standing in front of the screen. I apologize, friends.
So, am I on the right path, aligned with the universe, or do I have to look out for something? You mean as in something else? As do you need to be doing something else?
Let me just hey, cat, really? You're gonna have to get out of the way, sweetheart. Everyone's saying hi to you, Quince. It's just like he's standing there and he's staring right at the screen. It's like, just sit down. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Good boy. Pooja, can you let us know if it's something specific that you would be the
Like, do
or
you need
something?
to be looking out for something, or do you need to be doing something else? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Or I'll just ask this: what path should you be on? Or I'll just cut the question at: are you aligned with the universe? If no, what do they need to be doing?
Right.
I'll say it that way. Or if you are, let's see that too.
This cat is something else. The other day, I was on live with Nancy Jean's Garden, and the cat jumped up on the back of the chair and then slid on behind me and was behind me, literally pulling on my hair. So the whole time I was on the show, I was doing this. He loves hair. I don't know what his deal is.
The cats are just trying to let you know that you live with them, not the other way around. They don't live with you. That's their house. And so if they want to walk across your desk, they get to.
He's literally behind me right now. I know that y'all can't see him, but he's literally behind me. Ow! Stop.
I would say, yes, you're on the right path, but I would caution also if there is something within yourself that is starting to doubt what you're doing, or if there's something around you, possibly more so, that is. So, okay, the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Swords. This is speaking truth, like if you just smash the two together. So if there is some sort of talking that you must do to help people around yourself, I don't know if you read or if you're psychic or what you are, but here is some sort of speaking of truth. So if this is just telling your story to people, I don't know what it is or what your path is specifically, but this is speaking truth. The Ten of Cups and the Seven of Swords is also giving people some sort of strategy or some sort of hope back to wholeness. But the concerning part is the Temperance card. The Death card is in the word of warning. So this is changes. Temperance speaks of moderation. Temperance speaks of moderation. It wants you to control what's going on in here. Temperance is healing, but it's healing after traumas. It's healing after addictions or something like. It's not a physical body healing. It's more of a spiritual and emotional heal. So what this is asking you to do is to go within right now and start to speak some truths to yourself. Also, go within to try to change whatever it is that is making you question who you are. What are you desiring or wishing for? That's a different question. And that's also something you need to go within. Now, we could do readings and tell you what it is, but you possibly already know what it is. You just, for whatever reason, won't pull the trigger on that. Everybody on earth is pulled somewhere. Now, the only reason we don't go in that direction is because there are people around us who make us feel as though that's the bad way to go. Nobody in my family reads tarot cards but me. But there are plenty of people in my family who think this is the worst thing you could possibly do. Right. So if it is one of those things to where if I listen to the crowd, it would say, don't do this. But something in me is being pulled towards it that way. Especially if that thing you're being pulled towards is not a bad thing. So I would say right now, never mind the outside world. Take the time to go within, speak some truth to yourself, even the truth that you don't want to hear. Speak the truth to yourself and then start to heal whatever the scab is, whatever the trauma is. There's something underneath it. Heal that. This is going to do a little self-reflection. And that's what I'm saying. Are you aligned with your desires? This is saying yes, but again, go within. Temperance. This wants you to heal.
Yeah, I got the healing thing too. Sorry, friends, for going off side there, but literally the cat. I don't know if y'all saw that, but the cat was behind me, literally pulling my hair, and he was like back here somewhere. But anyway, let's hope that he stays up there and doesn't attack me anymore. Let's just hope that. Moving on. So we start out, Puja, with the Hermit card, right? Going within, getting, doing some self-reflection, trying to get in touch with, your thoughts, your feelings, sort of sorting them out, lining them up, I want to say. Queen of Fire is next. I'm not sure if you're a fire sign or not, but I feel like that is you in terms of, like, I think that you know what you want. I think that you're very capable of getting what you want. But there's something about the idea of, how do I say this? There's something about the idea of, am I going to get what I want, that seems to be the problem for you, right? The thing that might be causing you a little bit of anxiety or a little bit of stress or a little bit of fear. Next, we've got the Three of Fire, right? This is goals, having a vision, going after that sort of dream. And I often say about the Three of Fire, like, imagine you've done all the work, you've put the work in, the thing that you want is right in front of you. You can literally almost feel like you can reach out and touch it. It's that close, but not quite. Do you know what I mean? And I think that, if I can just say that might be causing a little bit of your anxiety in terms of, like, asking the question, right? In the possible outcome position, we have the Three of Air, right? This is needing some healing, perhaps feeling, brokenhearted, feeling sorrowful, needing to forgive, needing to release. I feel like it's pent up frustration, pent up feelings, right? So busy jumping in front of yourself, then jumping back behind yourself, and then jumping in front of yourself again, almost as if you're stopping yourself in your own tracks, right? So just try to be careful of that. We have the King of Air on the bottom of the deck. You're knowledgeable, right? Speaking the truth, being analytical, sort of scouring, you sit up high atop a perch and sort of look out around you, right? Size things up, look at the bigger picture, have a strategy. I pulled some oracle cards. We've got nurture. What role is mothering energy playing in my life in nurture? This to me is this, even though they don't really mean the same thing. But like, nurture yourself. That's what the Queen of Fire does for others. She nurtures other people because she lifts them up. She inspires them. She embraces them with her sort of queenness. I don't know what else to say. I've got have courage. This is a beautiful card. Have courage. Awaken the warrior of light within you. So in other words, if this is what you want, if this path, this dream that you have, whatever it may be, then set your sights and go for it. I don't personally believe, this is just my personal belief, I don't personally believe that any path that we're on is the wrong path. Have I asked the question before? 100%. I've asked this question myself. But I now think differently. And I believe that any path that I'm on is the path that I'm supposed to be on at the moment that I'm on.
She said that it's not manifesting. So she wants to know if it was where she should be. So my suggestion too is, if you are trying to manifest it yourself, then pay attention to the way that you're doing your manifestations. If you say, for instance, you do some sort of your own ritual, you call for some sort of energy to manifest your dreams or your desires or whatever, And then you spend the next 3 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks thinking about it, obsessing over it. You are killing your own manifestations. Put it somewhere, put it in something out there in the ethers, out there in the spirit, and leave it alone. When you go and you plant things in the ground, like the Seven of Pentacles, when you plant something in the ground, you don't go dig it up to see if the roots are coming out.
Yeah.
You don't go dig it up again to see if it's going to sprout, because then you're just killing your own manifestation. So put it out there and leave it alone. The second thing is things take time. Even if it's been 3 years, it still takes time. The Wheel of Fortune speaks of all of the things that are destined to you, but you cannot speed the Wheel of Fortune up. You can't be 21 when you're 19 just because you think it. You have to wait for it. You have to wait for it to get there. Things are going to go in their own time. So your whatever it is, whatever path you're on is a path. You will get to the destination eventually, but you have to walk it first, and it goes in cycles. You'll get there. Just be patient. Spirit is not on our clock, unfortunately. You have to be patient. It will come to you if you are on the right. And mind you, in the meantime, that doesn't mean you can't do other things.
Right.
Just pay some attention to this thing and then pay some attention to something else. You can do 2 things at the same time. So if you want to do like love and relationship advice or love and relationship whatever, do that. At the same time, you could talk about how to manifest things in other people's lives, because you know the steps to do it. You just may be doing it in a different way, but you know the steps to do it. You can be doing something else in the meantime. Just don't be so hard on yourself. It will happen. It's happening, not it will happen. It's happening. You just have to let it unfold.
Yeah.
That's my suggestion.
Excellent. All right, Mika has a question. Oh, feedback. Johnny, you got something open. Are you like doing other work over there? No.
Everything's off.
Okay.
Let me move the speaker. Maybe that'll help.
I have to put it in the other room so you can't hear me. I got it. So I think we'll take Mika's question, and then I think we will call it a night, because we literally have been here for 2 hours already. And Pooja says, thank you for the enlightenment and very helpful. And Johnny's got to go to the store. God, maybe my kitty did. Nancy, Mika says, if I apply for a job, is there a chance that I will get it?
So first thing you can do, this is a little ritually, so if you don't want to do it, that is perfectly okay. But you take you a white candle, one that you like, and have no ill feelings towards it whatsoever. You take that candle and you sprinkle some cinnamon on the top of it. You light it, you leave it alone, let it burn for as long as you want to, but do not blow it out. Take something, snuff it out. That brings in good luck, and it brings in whatever it is you're trying to manifest. You don't have to have a special cinnamon. It ain't got to be from the Incas or the Himalayas. Just get your little 50-cent bottle out the store. Sprinkle you some cinnamon in your white candle. That thing you want will come to you.
Sorry.
Through your efforts. Just go get that black. But that's it. Is there a chance you'll get it?
Rory says, "What don't kill you makes you stronger." I should be able to whoop Superman by now.
You can. Confidence.
I love it.
Everything is strong on a person's body, Superman, except his nads. Give him one kick and boom, you got it. 6 of Pentacles and the 2 of Swords. There is an offer here with the 6 of Pentacles or something being given that is still in decision mode there. Queen of Cups in the Judgment. There's a woman, if it was a woman you talked to, or if there's a woman there. They're bringing something back, a conversation back. So I don't know if you applied for a different job and you felt as though you didn't get that. Someone could be returning, or someone could be returning that you worked for before, or an opportunity there. Um, is there a chance? There's always a chance. This doesn't look the most positive in the world, but do what I say with the candle. That brings, oh, what did I say about the candle? So take a white candle, one that you like, though, cannot be one that you do not like. You can have a tea light too if you like the tea lights because they burn faster. Sprinkle some cinnamon on the top of it and then light it. That's all you do. Just don't blow it out. Snuff it out somehow, not with your hand, but snuff it out somehow. But that's all you do. White candle, cinnamon, that's it. But it ends in the Five of Swords. So this is defeat. So this is a no. But like I said, there is something here in your environment, though, with the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is your wishes. And this is your wishes and desires, something that you want in your environment. There is something different here. This in particular job may be a no. There is something different. Whoever this woman is, she comes back with something different. So the thing that you applied for, I'm saying no. These are not etched in stone. That does not mean it won't happen. I'm saying this looks like a no. But there is some other man in your word of solace that brings you a different kind of victory. So again, for this job you applied for, I don't get yes, but you will be fine because whatever's in your environment, you still get what you want or get what you need. I'll say that. So remain positive.
Yeah. Mika, I started with the Seven of Water. So some choices, not choices in terms of, like, should I wear the red top today or should I wear the green top today? It's more like if I wear the red top, then this is going to happen. If I wear the green top, then that's going to happen. Like those kind of choices that sort of, I can say that the Seven of Water sometimes is like the adult shell game, right? Where you're doing this constant shuffling back and forth, and really all you're doing is spinning that hamster wheel around in your mind, making all kinds of scenarios out for yourself that serve you no good. We have the Ace of Water in the middle here, so this is possible new connections, new things happening. But I've got the Four of Water. I'm not feeling like you're going to get this. Just saying. But if there is a chance that you do get it, I don't think that you're going to be happy with it.
There's something better for you.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. I have the Six of Air on the bottom of the deck, and so right now I feel like, obviously, if you're looking for a job and you've been offered this job, or if you're offered,
it's something that would help her with her home business.
Yeah, then it's going to make you feel like you're making progress. And of course, it could be just a stepping stone, right? I don't think that this is the job or the partnership that you're going to stay in. It might just be like sort of like a transitional sort of step, if that makes sense. If you understand what I mean, right?
Because for instance, there is someone I read for yesterday, and they want to get into real estate, and they know nothing about real estate, but they really are intrigued by it. I said, go get you a job with the mortgage company. They can because I had one, so they can at the very least give you the language. They'll give you some know-how. You'll get in there and at least get the terminology down. You'll get how things work with mortgages and land and titles and deeds and this. At least you'll get that body of knowledge. And then if you still want to do this, then just break off from them and then do your own thing, because most people can't go into real estate if you work for a mortgage company. You can't get your real estate license in most places. So break off from them once you got what you needed, and then go out and pursue your own thing. And so if you're saying it's going to help you with your business, if you get this, that's why that stepping stone makes sense to where, okay, I can get in here, I can get what I need, and then I can continue or elevate my own thing. But I think there's something better. Whatever it is, it works out a lot better if you go for what you really want instead of what you think you need.
Yeah. I just pulled these 2 cards here from the Chakra Insight deck. This is for the throat chakra. So this is communication and creativity, which to me sort of go hand in hand, right? So communication is self-expression, sharing, right? Making connections, the exchange of information, you know, when you have a conversation with people. And the creativity card is originality, expression, and passion. So to Johnny's point there, you know, if you are passionate about whatever your business is, and this person comes along and wants to assist, is it what you need it to be? If it is, take it. If it isn't, you know what I mean? Can you gain any knowledge from it? Can you gain any insight from it? You know what I mean? Like nothing. I think that human beings, we do this, right? When we like, you know, I need a job, and then you get the job, and you're like, is this going to be the job for the rest of my life? You know, for the next 50 years. It doesn't really have to be like that anymore, does it?
Mm-mm.
You know, does it serve the purpose that you need it to serve right now? Kind of idea, right?
Light your candle.
Yeah.
Manifest what you want. Set your intention. Say, I need this job or I want this job.
Yeah.
Put your sentiment in there. Light it. Let it burn. It'll come to you.
I love it.
That's not really, okay.
All right, friend.
There you
go. She says, thank you very much. She knows that I applied for it to learn more and not really a permanent job. That makes sense. All right, friends. 2 hours and 6 minutes. I think we've kept Johnny long enough. I thank you very much for hanging out with me. That was fun. Thanks, everyone, for being here.
Y'all pray for me. I'm going to go walk to the store in the dark with my black clothes on. Pay attention.
You have some like neon duct tape or something you could put around yourself or something.
I don't have to walk close to the street. I'll be fine.
Do you have any like blinking glasses or anything like that?
I should get some. Be total Elton John. The rainbow's not enough, I suppose.
All right, everybody. Have a great night. Love you lots. We wish you many blessings, and thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you soon. Bring your baby stick, Terry says.
Yes, that's what I need, to walk down the street with a baby head stick at night.
Nancy says, surround yourself with white light. That's exactly what you need. You'll be fine. Good night, everybody.